Welcome to Express Tribune Headlines. After 9 months away from the public eye, former Pakistani Premier Imran Khan is set to appear via video link in a Supreme Court hearing concerning the intra-court appeal against the judgment that deemed amendments to the NAO 2000 illegal. This marks Imran's first appearance before a bench led by Chief Justice Qazi Faiz Issa, with whom tensions have been historically high since a presidential reference filed during Imran's tenure. The session is anticipated to be significant as it allows Imran a public platform to possibly challenge or reinforce his previous accusations of political corruption and interference by powerful entities. The Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has expressed serious concerns about the health and medical treatment of their founder and former Prime Minister Imran Khan in Adiala jail. PTI claims that the jail authorities are ignoring court orders to provide necessary medical care and are refusing to conduct essential medical tests. The party statement highlighted a specific request for blood tests and an ENT specialist consultation.
Thousands attended funeral prayers for victims of clashes in Muzaffarabad, Pakistan-ruled Kashmir, on Tuesday. An alliance of civil rights groups called off a protest march after several days of turmoil over high prices, in which 4 people have been killed and over 100 injured. 3 protesters were killed on Monday evening after paramilitary troops opened fire when they were attacked, said local government official Adnan Khurshid. A police official died in clashes over the weekend. Protesters called off the march a day after Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif approved a grant of 24 billion rupees to help meet most of their demands, which included subsidies on flour and electricity prices. The alliance's head Shaukat Nawaz Mir announced the decision in Muzaffarabad, the capital city of the scenic Himalayan region. Mir also demanded that the government give financial compensation for the families of 3 protesters and a police official who were killed in the violence.
The Pakistan Stock Exchange briefly surpassed the 75,000 points mark, setting a new record following an upgrade by global index provider MSCI, which added the National Bank of Pakistan to its frontier market index. This milestone was achieved early in trading but was short-lived due to profit selling, with the KSE 100 index closing slightly higher than the previous day. The upgrade has spurred optimism among foreign investors, especially as Pakistan negotiates a new loan with the IMF to support economic growth.
Pakistan has launched negotiations with the International Monetary Fund on a new expansive bailout program, starting with a fiscal adjustment of over Rs 1.6 trillion in the upcoming budget. The discussions, led by Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb and IMF's Nathan Porter, aim to build on the progress made during the recently concluded 9-month standby arrangement. The fiscal adjustment, comprising additional revenue measures, expenditure rationalization, and privatization, is critical for the budget set for presentation on June 6th to 7th. Key strategies include pension reforms, a shift to a real value-added tax system, and significant increases in the petroleum levy to boost non-tax revenue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi criticized the opposition India bloc at a Bihar rally, labeling its leaders as cowards frightened by Pakistan's nuclear capabilities. Modi's remarks were in response to National Conference leader Farooq Abdullah's comments about having atom bombs and not wearing bangles, following Defence Minister Rajnath Singh's statement on integrating Pakistan-occupied Kashmir with India. Modi accused the opposition of being soft on terrorism and questioning India's military actions, while also jesting about Pakistan's lack of resources.
Pakistan has called on Indian politicians to refrain from using the country as a tool in their electoral strategies, emphasizing the dangers this poses to regional peace. This appeal followed recent hostile statements from Indian leaders during the Lok Sabha elections, involving issues from the Jammu and Kashmir dispute to nuclear capabilities. The Foreign Office spokesperson criticized the aggressive rhetoric as an attempt to shift focus from domestic troubles and electoral manipulation, stressing that such behavior undermines India's image as a responsible power. Pakistan remains committed to defending its sovereignty and insists on resolving disputes through peaceful means aligned with UN mandates. US President Joe Biden took center stage at the 30th Gala of the Asian Pacific American Institute for Congressional Studies. He praised the contribution of immigrants to the US and emphasized the importance of diversity. Biden highlighted the rapid growth of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. He also criticized former President Trump's policies, particularly those seen as discriminatory against immigrants, and condemned efforts to block legislation aimed at powering immigrant communities, marking a clear departure from his predecessor's approach. Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to Beijing this Thursday marks the beginning of his new presidential term, as he is set to reinforce his no-limits partnership with Chinese leader Xi Jinping amid ongoing US pressure over Ukraine. While the visit is expected to be symbolic, highlighting shared opposition to a US-led world order, discussions will likely touch on increasing economic cooperation and possibly more support for Russia's war economy. However, despite the strong alliance, China has cautiously avoided supplying direct military aid to Russia's efforts in Ukraine. Britain's King Charles unveiled his first official portrait since his coronation last May at Buckingham Palace. Created by renowned artist Jonathan Yu, the portrait depicts Charles in a uniform of the Welsh Guards against a vivid red background with a butterfly above his shoulder. Yu, who has painted notable figures like David Attenborough and Nicole Kidman, explained that the butterfly symbolizes Charles's evolving role. Commissioned in 2020 to honor Charles' 50 years with the Drapers Company, the portrait will be displayed at Drapers' Hall in London from the end of August. Thousands of protesters shut down a major intersection in Georgia's capital after Parliament passed a controversial foreign agents bill. Demonstrators converged on Hero Squad, disrupting traffic. The bill, which has faced criticism from the opposition and Western countries, now goes to the president, who has vowed to veto it. However, the veto can be overridden by another parliamentary vote, controlled by the ruling party. The opposition views this law as a step towards dictatorship, while the government defends it as a necessary form of security. Russia launched a series of airstrikes on residential areas in northern Ukraine, injuring at least 20 people. A 20-story building in the city center was hit, and 15 garages caught fire near another residential building. Ukraine's second-largest city has been a frequent target of Russian attacks, which have intensified in recent months, hitting civilians and energy infrastructure. Local officials continue to appeal for international support as the situation worsens. Michael Cohen, former fixer for Donald Trump, resumed his testimony at Trump's criminal trial in New York. Cohen revealed that Trump personally authorized a $130,000 hush money payment to adult film actor Stormy Daniels to silence claims of a 2006 affair. This payment is central to the trial, which alleges Trump falsified business records to hide the reimbursements as legal fees. Trump, who has pleaded not guilty, denies the affair and claims the case is politically motivated. Cohen's testimony highlights multiple instances of Trump's direct involvement in keeping damaging stories out of the public eye. Google's parent company Alphabet showcased new AI advancement at its annual I/O development event. This includes a faster and cheaper Gemini AI model, Project Astra for real-time interaction using smartphone cameras, and improved search features. The announcements come as Google races to compete with AI rivals like OpenAI. Alphabet's AI unit, Google DeepMind, aims to build technology that assists with everyday tasks, while the new Veo model generates high-quality videos. These innovations reflect Google's commitment to staying at the forefront of AI technology. Music producer Benny Blanco shared insights into his relationship with singer Selena Gomez during an interview with Howard Stern. While praising Gomez as the coolest, the nicest, the sweetest, Blanco remained tight-lipped about engagement rumors. The couple, who confirmed their relationship in December 2023, have been together for 6 months. Blanco shared a humorous anecdote about their first date, revealing he initially didn't realize it was a date. Fans continue to speculate about their future, but for now, the couple is enjoying their time together.